And we're back in our episode of NBA 2K14. And earlier the last episode as the Miami Heat crushed the Brooklyn Nets by 17. 1-8, actually it's 23, 118 to 95 as LeBron James got 34 points with 7 assists. Dwayne Wade got 26 and 8 assists, and Joel Johnson got 30 and a huge night for Miami as they take the crush over the Brooklyn Nets. So with the presentation is ready and coming up next. Second game of the day, we're off to San Antonio, Texas at the AT&T Center. We got the Western Conference fight featuring Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers take on Tim Duncan of the San Antonio Spurs. For this game, the Blazers gonna use the alternate red jersey and the Spurs gonna use the gray. And that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. We'll be right back after this. Enjoy the video in AT&T Center in San Antonio. Anyways, let's get started. Enjoy now. Here we go. We're going to send to Kevin Harlan here in AT&T Center. This was the pay-per-view of the 2014 Western Conference Semis in real life, actually. So here we go. Enjoy now.
Welcome, basketball fans, to 2K Sports. I'm Damon Bruce. Wednesday night in the NBA. It'll be the Portland Trail Blazers facing off against the San Antonio Spurs. And that'll do it from the studio. Let's get you out to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports broadcast crew at the arena. I'll see you back here at halftime.
The Spurs play before the hometown crowd here live in San Antonio, Texas. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. And guys, what are we going to be looking for in this one from McCollum?
McCollum is really a creative scorer and a combo guard. He can handle the ball. He shoots it well from the outside. He's got a nice mid-range game off the pull-up. And he's got that crossover hesitation move that allows him to create space for himself.
Watching him up close as I did 2 years ago, I love everything about him. He competes at a high level at the defensive end, and he's got a little bit of a nasty streak that's understated. Very competitive guy, and does everything from the guard position. He's an old school guard. Just put him back in the backcourt, and he can play either spot for you. So I'm looking forward to watching him do his thing in the NBA.
Looking at San Antonio, they took the win in their last game against the Bulls in Chicago, and they barely squeaked by with that one, edging out by just 1 point.
And Kevin, I thought they put together a fantastic offensive game plan in that win. They knew exactly how to exploit the defense, and they really got on a nice roll.
And exploit them they did. See, they were relentless. They kept so much pressure on the defenders over the course of that game.
Well, for the Portland Trail Blazers, a new training staff hired over from Oklahoma City. They let go of their previous trainer who'd been with the team for 19 seasons. Fair or not, I think the seat got hot after all the injuries that were really devastating this team.
So it's San Antonio now. Duncan goes in. And Jack's good on the assist by Ginobili.
Offensively, he can be the engine that drives them at any given time.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Well, guys, the head coach for the Portland Trail Blazers gave me just a couple of minutes. I asked him what they needed to key in on defensively, and he said, well, we've got to limit penetration by Tony Parker. He's really the, quote, head of the snake. And with his floater, he doesn't need to get all the way to the rim to score. It's crucial that we do our best to keep him outside the lane. Guys, that's no easy assignment. We'll see how much success they have defensively.
Thank you, Doris. And for the Blazers, statistically the most injured team in the NBA from 2009 through 2012.
And the new training staff is advanced in not just injury treatment, but injury prevention. And that's key, using strength bands and floating baseline measurements for muscle strength and flexibility, even using Eastern medicine. So they're not leaving any stone unturned.
Batum attacking. Back to Lillard. Pass to Batum. Jacks up a three. Gets it to go. Batum's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Ginobili outside. From outside the arc. And again, it's the Spurs from deep.
Red hot right out of the gate. 4 for 4 shooting.
You know, you survey other point guards in the league and ask them who their toughest assignment is, and a lot of them will tell you it's Tony Parker. I mean, his ability to weave in and out at the speed he does just drives would-be defenders mad over the course of 4 quarters. Parker is always in attack mode.
And here's Leonard. Following the three-pointer by Nicholas Batum. From downtown, and there's Ginobili. That's good on the assist from Leonard. 6 points for Manu Ginobili.
The rapid-fire threes coming from everywhere.
I thought it might be a little imprudent to try to get those points right back, but it worked.
And Clark, you mentioned the penetration ability of Tony Parker. He really has become the focal point of the Spurs drive and kick offense, Steve. So fun to watch.
Yeah, you talk about his speed and quickness, but it's really all about the overall skill level, the ability to finish it in the lane as the knockdown jump shooter. The free throw shooting also improved, but it's incredible how well-rounded Parker has become.
Is he the fastest point guard, you think, in the NBA?
I would say yes.
And Portland has possession after the basket by San Antonio. Here's McCollum, and it's blocked by Splitter. Robinson against Duncan. Batum with the steal. And it is flushed down with an... Nice jam.
Boy, extremely opportunistic defense leading to those points there.
That dunk, Clark, coming within seconds of the steal.
Love the way they convert from defense to offense.
But that's what happens when you get all 5 guys on a string defensively ready to react and make a play.
These defenders are putting up very little resistance to the three-point shot.
And it's killing them. That's 4 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been three-pointers.
And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a three-point play. Going to the line for 1.
You know, he's showing some kind of a killer instinct this quarter, trying to stretch this lead out.
An almost entirely new group here for Portland. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Splitter. Diao comes in for Tim Duncan. Steven Jackson's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Green in for Manu Ginobili.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Yeah, they've been the aggressors, Clark, and getting the ball inside into that lane area has been huge for them.
And good on the basket. Book it.
Their offense already flowing. Some stellar shooting while jumping out to this lead.
Well, high-quality shots, and they've been on target with them.
Williams kicks to Clavet. Hits the bucket.
Boy, this game is off to a terrific start.
No doubt. On both sides, high-octane offense.
Here's Diao. Banked in off the glass. Diao's got his second bucket tonight. Looking at Portland, they want to turn it around after the loss to the Grizzlies in Memphis.
And that night, guys, they didn't resemble the team we're used to seeing, either as individuals or as a unit.
Steve, I thought there was really a lack of leadership. Nobody really gathered the team and tried to rally them. And sometimes you have to do that with your body language and your voice. To me, that was the most disappointing thing about the loss.
Parker kicks to Jackson. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker.
They're setting the tone early here, Kevin.
Now Williams. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Leonard attacking. Green with the block. Right side, Green, defended by Cram. And it's good. The officials may want to look at that one on the replay monitor. And indeed, they're going to look at it again. Certain he beat the buzzer.
That shot absolutely had to be reviewed. It's going to have a major impact on this game. To the naked eye, that was a very tough decision.
Yeah, you'd love for the replay to be definitive, but wow, even in slow motion, it's hard to tell if that one should count.
And they've seen enough. The basket will not count. The quarter has come to an end before the shot.
Still important to have a second look at it, Kevin. I mean, the technology's available, so you might as well use it.
Absolutely. A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through one. Spurs out in front, up 6. Live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, you're watching 2K Sports.
Coming up next Monday night, March 17th, the Phoenix Suns take on Deron Williams and the Brooklyn Nets. Be there.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And a look at how the hustle game has been going for San Antonio.
Boy, you have to admire their intensity in the paint defensively. I mean, really contesting and even... blocking shot, definitely a factor early.
Well, the other thing I like is defensively, they're causing turnovers, and that's allowing them to get into transition.
Steven Jackson is out there with Boris Diaw. Then it's Mills. Then it's Tracy McGrady. And it's Bonner in at the center. That's the San Antonio foul. Mills dishes to Bonner. Rejected by Kleber. Feeds to Udrich. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
You know, the Spurs really have a cohesive culture, and part of that is something that Greg Popovich has been able to do, and that's being able to join guys together that normally might not hang out. For instance, you had Matt Bonner taking Steven Jackson out to a Coldplay concert last season. One way to help guys get to know each other off the court, and it helps them on the court.
And back to Popovich and the Spurs, he really makes a point of getting to know his players. Have them get to know one another.
That's right, Kevin. He likes to have his players have a sense of perspective about the world. He wants them to know that there are other things going on besides the NBA. In fact, back in 2012, he had the players watching the presidential debates together.
Back to Leonard. Ball stolen. Mills passes to Diaw. That's good. Diaw's got 6.
Gotta love the finger roll up and over the defense.
Trailblazers trail by 11. So timeout called here, the first for Portland. Last time they met was in Portland this season.
Yeah, that was a big win for them. And an impressive performance, mainly down in the paint. Their rebounding advantage was the difference in the game.
Another look now for Portland. Thomas Robinson, he's checked in for Myers Leonard. Aldridge comes in for Victor Kleber. And McCollum subbed in for Jarrell Wright. Here in the second quarter with a little over a minute gone. Let's bring up the 2K leaderboard to show you the teams leading the league in assists this season. In fourth, the Spurs.
And, you know, contrary to what we see from other teams, this team really has no interest in playing selfishly. I mean, their assist numbers show what a cohesive unit they are.
Leonard kicks to Mills. And again, it's the Spurs from deep. Steve mentioned the huge discrepancy on the glass Clark in their blood win the last time out there.
And guys, if those rebounding numbers are anywhere close to the same today, I think the result will be exactly the same as well.
The drive by Duncan, rejected by Aldridge. And Udrich kicks to Barton. That's good, and it's Udrich with the assist that time.
That's how to orchestrate for your teammate. Terrific pass.
Spurs leading by 12. The feed to Mills. Pass to Duncan. Aldridge is there. Duncan kicks to McGrady. Top 3 off the mark. Portland's gone 3 of 3 from three-point land here tonight. Here's McCollum. Again, the Trailblazers score.
And that's an owner's manual possession to get them a good look there, Kevin.
Another look now for Portland. Batum comes in for Will Barton. And Damian Lillard subbed in for Udrich. And here we go.
Boy, with 2 fouls now, he really has to be disciplined and under control for the rest of this half. You know, you talk about Tim Duncan, his great basketball IQ and skill level. Those show up in every facet of his game. I mean, one thing people might not think of are his outlet passes. which are such a key to fast break opportunities. But there's not anything on the basketball court that Duncan doesn't do well.
And going back, Clark to Duncan and the value of that great outlet passing game of his, he's kind of like a quarterback Steve in football, reading the coverage and getting the ball to the right guy.
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy. Duncan's so smart as a passer, and particularly playing with Tony Parker. When you can get that outlet to Parker near midcourt, now it's on offensively. You know what I love about Tim Duncan is that early in his career, he was so dominant on the block at both ends of the floor. And as his career has gone on and he's taken on a little bit lesser role with the Spurs, it's never bothered him. He's just accepted whatever role Greg Popovich asked of him. And now he's still a very effective player, but the Spurs have become more of a perimeter-type team, and that's just fine with him.
As yet again, and finally they hit one. Duncan's got 8 points. Here in the second quarter, about 3 minutes played. Lillard outside. And there's the feed to McCollum. Lays it up and banks it in. McCollum's got 4 points this quarter. Steve, you're talking about Tim Duncan accepting a changing role as time goes on. And, what can be a challenge, you think, Clark, for a guy like that when he has to grow into different positions over the course of his career?
Well, for Tim Duncan, I don't think it was hard at all because it's all about winning for him. It's not about the numbers. As long as he contributes to winning, then that makes him happy. So he adjusted, but it wasn't a big deal for him.
Shot clock at 5. Shakes off the strong D and gets the bucket for 2. 10 points for him.
4 of their last 5 makes came off of a high-quality shot inside.
Yeah, that's textbook basketball, just having their way down low.
Lillard dishes to Leonard. That is good.
The defenders have to be aware. They cannot allow him that position before he catches the ball.
You're exactly right, Steve. That is his domain.
Here's Duncan. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face. Duncan's got 12 points in the game. There's the lob to the hoop. And it's Leonard with the jam.
Maybe that'll ignite him. I mean, impossible not to get pumped up after that. At least I think that would be the case.
Well, you can see the immediate reaction of the guys on the bench. They are. Look at them. They are pumped up.
Yeah, they're geek.
That's what those alley-oops do, though.
Duncan kicks to Ginobili. Good on the triple. He's got 9. Trailblazers trail by 12. Batum attacking. Blocked. Parker outside. That is good.
He's putting on an outstanding offensive display, and he may just be getting warmed up here.
Lillard with it. He's picked up by Parker. McCollum. And the Trailblazers, another 3.
It was a slow start for him, but he started to take off since we hit the second quarter, guys.
And it's Leonard. That time on the assist by Ginobili. And the Spurs lead by 15.
Heads up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
And the basket by Lillard. 8 seconds left here in the second. And Ginobili. Here we go. And that one's good.
The drive to the bucket was nice. How about the finger roll finish? Beautiful.
And he's got his first chance at the line here.
Well, you got to admire what he's been able to do at the free throw line this season, shooting better than 90% from the stripe.
And with those numbers, he makes a defender hesitant to get too tight on him. I mean, he doesn't want to get whistled for the foul and put this guy on the line.
A dominating first half of basketball, and so far hasn't been close. Spurs lead by 16. And don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of the third quarter.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Thanks for being with us here on 2K Sports. Every day, the playoff picture is becoming more clear. The Spurs are scorching hot in the first half. A precision offensive attack, maximizing possessions. They're avoiding turnovers. It's just a beautiful game tonight. Tony Parker having himself a big-time game. What he's been able to do from the field has been nothing short of spectacular. Only a select few players in the league can shoot the ball like that. For the Trailblazers, though, not the same story. They're the underdogs in this matchup and haven't exactly barked well. Nikola Batum giving them a nice boost. He can't be happy with the losing streak, and he's a man on a mission in the first half to end it. And to look at the games being played right now. The Golden State Warriors are ahead against the Clippers at Staples Center. Fourth quarter out there, and they've got a 6-point edge. Looking now at some games that are already wrapped up. The Mavericks picked up a win against the Jazz in Utah. And they keep this terrific streak going. Can they sustain it? Dirk Nowitzki had the team high. And now, here's what's going on in the rest of the NBA. Out at New Orleans Arena, it was the Pelicans losing to the Grizzlies. They couldn't get anything going, it seemed. Their top scorer was Anthony Davis. And that'll be all for now. Thanks so much for joining us. The third quarter, just about to get underway.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And a view here of the beautiful San Antonio Riverwalk as we welcome you back to the game.
Boy, you talk about a franchise having some terrible luck with injuries. Portland is certainly that team. A lot of emerging stars in Rip City have had their careers or tenure cut short because of injury. And the injury bug once again reared its head for Portland.
And now let's check out the lineup courtesy of Gatorade all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. On the court right now for the Trailblazers. Lillard at the point with C.J. McCollum playing the two. Batum and Aldridge are the power tandem, and it's Robinson in at the center position. Lillard the pass to McCollum. As I said with the Blazers throughout the ages, they've had to deal with injuries to guys like Walton and Oden and most recently, Roy. Unfortunately, Steve, starting over is something that they are used to doing.
But they are in a pretty good position to do so right now, Kevin. I think they've been really good in the draft the last couple of years. Obviously, they got a star in Damian Lillard that they can build around. To me, the key is LaMarcus Aldridge. Can they re-sign him? Can he be that dominant low-post guy in Portland for the next 5 or 6 years? He sure has the potential.
And Lillard kicks to McCollum. Plenty of space. Again, the Trailblazers score.
Well, you know, he has shot the ball well, but it has not been contagious. His teammates, they haven't had the same groove, and that's why we're looking at this result so far.
Tries to keep it alive. Stolen by Robinson. The dunk and the... Wow, a powerhouse move, and he's got a chance for one more at the line. That one on Parker.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Well, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Well, it clearly was a tough rookie season for Thomas Robinson, guys. He really struggled to find his shot. And right now it's time to figure out how to score effectively in the NBA. I just think it's going to take him a little time because he's undersized as a power forward and not quite skilled enough yet to play the small forward spot. Well, it's been a great start for this offense here in the second half. 4 for 4.
And stolen by Aldridge. And oh, here we go. Lillard's got the fast break chance. Boy,
how's that for a quick possession?
Yeah, it sure was. I mean, he didn't waste any time getting down the court, did he?
it's Ginobili with the drive. Out to Parker. There's the pass to Duncan. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker's got 4 assists now tonight. And for Robinson offensively, do you think he can turn around, Steve?
He's got a lot of athleticism. I think he's best suited as a rebounder, a guy who can come in with great energy, probably off the bench, but he doesn't have a polished offensive postgame at this point.
It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady work they've been doing on the interior, no question. That's, I think, the main reason they have this lead. Well, you knew he'd win that race.
I mean, That's what you call early offense.
Spurs leading by 13. Here's Ginobili. Lays it up and in on a nice reverse. Ginobili's got 14 points.
Now there's something for the top 10 highlight reel right there. A layup can be just as sweet and as pretty as a dunk sometimes.
And they're moving it up. Here's Duncan. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Duncan's got 6 points in the quarter.
He's one of the best in the league at that. Even with just a tiny sliver, he always seems to find a way to get it up and
So Portland ends up going with the new group. And here's a group of players that have really been showcasing their versatility recently. The leading three-point shooters among centers and power forwards over the last 10 games. You take a look at Diaz, third in the NBA. He's someone that, if you leave him alone, he's going to knock it down.
You know, he has such a phenomenal touch from long range for a player at any position. Forget about just among the big men.
And that's what makes him so hard to guard, Steve, his ability to play the inside game or the outside game. I like him being kind of like reversible clothing. We're just not used to seeing players who can do that.
Boy, that was impressive. Major height disadvantage, but he still got the shot up over his man.
Well, he's got the poise to handle any matchup, and he's not easily intimidated. You can see that there.
That's what has to happen if they're going to turn this thing around. He's got to take charge. He's got to be aggressive and really look to push here offensively.
McGrady, rejected by Batum. 1:19 left in the third quarter. They double him with Green. Lillard covered by Mills. The open shot. Lillard cans the shot with nobody near him. Lillard's got 10 points. McGrady with the ball. Now right defender. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Allen will shoot one more at the free throw line. So for the Trailblazers, Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Bellinelli. And Steven Jackson is subbed in for Daniel Green. Udrich dishes to McCollum. That's good. And it's Udrich with the assist that time. 16 points for C.J. McCollum. Here's McGrady. And he uses the glass on the way. And the Spurs lead by 17. There's 48 seconds left in the third quarter. McCollum passes to Udrich. Udrich off a bit from Clavel. Passes it to McCollum. Takes a three. And it's good. McCollum's got 10 points in just the second half.
He's really stepped it up this quarter. Looks like he's determined to get them out of this hole all by himself.
Here's Bonner. And that one's good.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
Yeah, the defense has been futile here. 5 of the last 6 field goals in the lane.
To the middle. Deflected. Diaz with the steal. Jackson kicks to Mills. Nice pass. Right over the rack perfectly for the layup. Mills has got 5 men. Here's Udrich. With the lead pass. And over. Slams it in.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
McGrady dishes to Diaz. Just 3 on the clock. Another one falls for San Antonio. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Spurs out in front. They lead by 18. And time for the short break, and stay right where you are. The fourth quarter is coming up next.
Coming up next Monday, March 17th, Chris Paul and the Los Angeles Clippers go up against the Denver Nuggets. Make sure to catch it.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Spurs.
Anytime they've had a chance to attack the lane, they've done so. The penetration has been impressive.
Another thing they've done tonight is work the ball into the paint for plenty of those close-range points. You got to have those.
Leonard and Duncan are the pair at forward. In the backcourt, Parker and Ginobili. And it's Splitter in at the 5 down low. And that's who's in the game for the Spurs. Spurs leading by 15. Here's Ginobili. And it's good. Through contact, hits the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
Their low post defense has to show some improvement, guys.
Yeah, of the last 10 points, Steve, 8 have come from in tight.
Nicholas Batum. He's checked in for Portland. Lillard outside. And that is good. Here's San Antonio now. They led the game at 1 point by 20. The basket drops, and it is fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
Man, how about the dexterity for this big guy? I mean, he is really smooth around the basket.
And as rebounders go, guys, he is amazingly active on the boards, relentless. And it serves two purposes. One, I mean, it gets him a lot of rebounds, of course, but two, it takes a lot of toll on the opposition. Who wear you down?
And Steve, he's also the player they rally around at the defensive end. I mean, they cause some real havoc when he's out there running the show defensively.
Well, guys, for a point guard, he can punch it.
Yes, sir. I mean, that would have been unheard of about a decade and a half ago, Kevin, seeing a guy bounce like that at his second.
Good point.
Times have changed, though, because you got guards all over the league who can play way above the rim.
Trailblazers trail by 18. He dishes it to McCollum. Outside, Batum. And again, it's the Trailblazers from deep.
And the bounce pass was the key to the play.
San Antonio calls timeout.
C.J. McCollum, a 6'3" combo guard out of Lehigh, played only about 2 months of his senior season after suffering a broken bone in his foot, but did enough to impress scouts that he became a top-tier talent. I think he's got a big future in this league.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Kevin, Greg Popovich was just going over the plan with his team. He laid one thing out there for them, saying, now is the time to eliminate any chance of a mistake. We've got a good lead. Don't take any unnecessary risks or commit a silly foul. Smart basketball from here on out.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. And McCollum compares himself part to Damian Lillard and Steph Curry, two other small school guys with great shooting touches.
Well, you know what I like to say, half game will travel, and McCollum has game. There's no question about that, Kevin. He's going to do fine in the NBA, and those guys he compares himself with have shown they're capable.
Daniel Green, he's checked in for Manu Ginobili. Game moves along. 2 minutes gone here in the fourth. Lillard, the pass to Robinson. Intercepted. And a fast break now for the Spurs. And Parker with the basket on the assist by Green. 23 points for Tony Parker.
Seems like they're on their heels every time defensively because the ball continues to go into the post.
Well, if they don't pick up the aggression, things are only going to get worse.
And Lillard kicks to Robinson. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. That one misses for Robinson.
Well, I tell you what, Greg Popovich, a really impressive leader for the Spurs. He's able to keep all of his players locked into what's best for the team. Has a military background, played basketball and studied at the Air Force Academy before serving 5 years in the Air Force. And you know some of the leadership that he brings to his position was learned from his past experiences.
Well, give credit where credit is due. Terrific assist inside.
Fires from the wing. Again, the Spurs good for two.
The leaner, only the guys. speed of some strokes and you can get that one off in traffic.
Hey, Clark, you mentioned Pop's time at the Air Force Academy. That's where he got his start in the coaching ranks.
Yeah, 6 years as an assistant there. He was head coach at Pomona, an assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors and the Spurs, and eventually moved into the front office in San Antonio. But wow, what an amazing run it's been for him. 17 years as the head coach of the Spurs.
There's the bucket. Good. 25 points for Tony Parker.
His shooting's been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons his team is up in this game.
Robinson. And again is Portland converting.
I love it when a player like this shakes off a poor first half and comes back strong like he has, showing a lot of confidence in his game.
Backing him down is Duncan. That's good. Duncan's got 5 points in the quarter.
Well, it's a wrap, fellas. No way you come back in this one.
Not anymore. Any chance of that happening went out the window a while ago.
And goaltending is going to be the call, so they get the basket there anyway.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
That whistle got a big response from this crowd, and it is not a favorable one, let's say.
I'll tell you what, the fans can't believe that they made that call.
You know, the only tough part of that basket for him was getting into such good position. The rest of it seemed easy.
Here's Crab. Another shot. Buries it despite the hack. Terrific play with a chance for one more. Tim Duncan picks one up. The Spurs making a switch here. Diaw's checked in. Here is Bomber. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup.
And a terrific run to really put this ball game away.
And now let's see how many more points they can throw up there before the horn sounds.
Double team on Williams. Batum with the ball. Steven Jackson covering. Robinson gets to the rim for two with the D all over him.
Boy, if they could have had this kind of run earlier in the game, it might have made a big difference.
You know, I think a big reason behind the run, Steve, is that they're not getting pressured as much by the defense now that the game's all but finished.
And the fans loving what's transpired here tonight. A really good victory for these guys.
Sure was. I mean, they did just what they needed to do to keep the visitors from getting any momentum going at all.
Claver with the bucket.
Great assist there. Led him to the perfect spot.
The clock now. Can just run out for the Spurs. And here is McGrady. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. They put on a show tonight, thoroughly controlling each end of the floor.
Hey, what more can you ask?
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Norris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Tim Duncan.
Another huge dominated win for the San Antonio Spurs as they crossed over the Portland Trail Blazers by 18, 119 to 101. Tony Parker got 25 points and 6 assists. Tim Duncan got 23, 4 assists, and Manu Ginobili got 20 points with 3 assists. CJ McCollum got 21, Robinson got 20, Batum got 16, and Damian Lillard got 15-11, and a huge night for San Antonio at the Alamo. Here's the upcoming games tonight. So our first game of the day here, United Center, we got the Houston Rockets take on Chicago Bulls, Milwaukee Bucks, Atlanta Hawks. And our second game will be head to OKC. It's the LA Lakers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. But first, we're going to check the playoff picture for now. The playoffs are around the corner, but not yet to clinch the playoff berth. Already Miami Heat already clinched the playoff berth with his best team with 20 games left. Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, Indiana, Washington, Atlanta, Orlando. We got Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Toronto, Charlotte, Boston, New York, and Cleveland. So no more teams are out now. So Houston, OKC, San Antonio, Clippers, Grizzlies, Warriors, Mavericks, then the Hunt was Minnesota. Okay, so we're gonna do the chance to be going to get in the postseason, the push to the playoffs. Right now will be the road to the playoffs upcoming for a round. The playoff round. It's gonna be the playoffs will begin this coming. So that will be wrap up here tonight here in AT&T Center. And next game on our hand, we're off to United Center in Chicago. We got Dwight Howard and James Harden of the Houston Rockets take on Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah of the Chicago Bulls. That will be a good one here at the Interconference Showdown. And followed by the second game here in OKC, we got another battle for the pitchers, the two of the superstars. Once again, Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, and Pau Gasol of the Los Angeles Lakers take on Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook of the Oklahoma City Thunder. That'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin as the Indiana Pacers stay alive to force a Game 7 over the Thunder. We'll have a Game 7 back here in Paycom Center. That will be marks the first Finals Game 7 since 2016 NBA Finals. It was the famous LeBron James block against Andre Iguodala when the Cavs won his first NBA title in 52 years. That means it's gonna be a good one here. So, Game 7, the two best words featuring Tyrese Haliburton of the Indiana Pacers take on SGA of the Oklahoma City Thunder. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin as the Spurs beat the Blazers by 18, 119 to 101. This is Andre Kenshin. Say song for United Center. Say song for AT&T Center in San Antonio. We'll see you tomorrow for the first game, the Houston Rockets and the Chicago Bulls, and the second game will be Los Angeles Lakers take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's time to say sign up and peace out. Good night, and reminder, we'll see you tomorrow for the first game here at United Center in Chicago, also known as Windy City. But the Houston Rockets take on the Chicago Bulls, and followed by the second game here at the Chesapeake Energy Arena in Oklahoma City for the Los Angeles Lakers take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Sign up and peace out. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow for the doubleheader one more time.